Mark Sanchez, I'm still not impressed.
No, I'm not convinced. He's got a lot. He's got a lot to do before we consider him an elite quarterback.
Absolutely. Another game I wanted to talk about is the New England-Buffalo contest. You've got a Patriots team that's only won 14 straight against the against the Bills. Matter of fact, they've won 19 of the last 20 games. However, normally you've got some big lines in these games. Patriots have gone 0-2-1 against the spread in the last 3 meetings. They did not play well. Needed to rally. Needed another big game from Tom Brady. Maybe it was a letdown. Maybe they were due for a letdown after those 5 previous big wins. But their 6th straight win against Green Bay, it was a lucky win. The Bills are playing with a heck of a lot of confidence. They have won 4 of their last 6 games. I mean, this team is definitely never would have suspected that the Bills would have turned their season around after, casting adrift their starting quarterback with Chan Gailey as their head coach.
Right.
But this team is really playing with a lot of confidence here. But again, it's a pretty darn cheap price to go with New England -8. But in the back of my mind, I keep thinking Patriots did lose to Cleveland earlier this year.
Yeah, and they have a problem when they're not motivated. That's a big problem with New England. And like you said, they may have peaked a little bit too early. One thing we can all say and agree is that Tom Brady is probably the best quarterback in the league right now. Ryan Fitzpatrick also playing great football, 23 touchdowns to only 12 interceptions. I look at the total at 44, and I think this game's got overwritten all over it. I think they're going to score points in droves. One of the things New England doesn't do well is defend the pass. I think that they just outscore their opponents, and I think that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, this New England defense is nothing special. I mean, they're ranked in the bottom third of the league, and they give up a heck of a lot of points. And you're right, they don't defend the pass very well either. But it's an interesting game. This could be a possibility where you take New England. We had talked about a possibility of a teaser team looking to put somebody in with Jacksonville, -1 at home against Washington. I do think New England will at least win this game.
Yes.
I mean, this Buffalo team, its secondary doesn't create many turnovers, doesn't come up with many interceptions. So I think all things considered, the way to go here is to go with New England, maybe in a teaser, bringing them down to like a 2.5 point favorite. I can see that certainly happening here because remember, if they win or the Jets lose, they wrap up the AFC crown more or less, and they get the home field advantage throughout the postseason. So it's still a huge game for them, and I've got to think Belichick is just not happy with the way his team played on Sunday night.
I would agree. I think they'll play 4 quarters of football, and I'd look for a lot of scoring.
We've got other games to break down for you, but Steve, each week we try to talk about one of the scams that has been perpetuated.
Wait, let me put my mask on.
Yes.
If we're about to unveil the scams.
There's so many scams that are out there in this sports handicapping industry, and I feel bad for people that fall for them and are victimized by it because we see so many people come to our site and ask through customer service, is this legit? Is this real? And they're asking about other guys. Well, hey, guys, if you have to ask, it probably isn't.
Right.
The one thing I can tell you about PickNation.com, we're 100% online business. What you see is what you get. We mentioned earlier, when you come to the site, whether you buy or not, you can come to the next day and you'll see yesterday's results posted on every single handicapper's page. We have 85% of our customers at our site are long-term package buyers, 7 days up to a year. They buy service. You can never lie even once because we would lose hundreds, if not thousands of customers. Honesty and integrity is what it's all about. But one of the things I love, you'll go to a guy's website and you'll see him bragging about, I've won 7 of the last 9 weeks. I've won 17 of the last 22 weeks. I've won 33 of the last 48 weeks. Yeah, but what he doesn't tell you is...
What's the bottom line?
Yeah, what's the bottom line is total net profit or net loss during that X number of week period. Because if you have a winning week and let's say you clear 14 units of profit, and you have a losing week where you lose
400 units
of profit, big deal. You've won 1-1 in terms of winning weeks, but you've buried your customers. And this is one of the biggest scams out there. I will not let any of the handicappers at our site ever do anything in terms of winning weeks unless there is an absolute positive number shown there so the customer knows. You always say we like to pull back the curtain like the Wizard of Oz. They've got to be able to see what has this handicapper done for you on the long term. Has he made you a profit or not? That's why we post the wins and we post the losses.
So many scams out there. That's just one of them. The other one is guaranteed. Everything is guaranteed. First of all, if you go to a website like ours that has a sportsbook advertiser on it, you have to ask yourself, why is a sportsbook advertising on a site that's supposed to be giving out the winners. And now if they're going to guarantee those winners on top of it, and you coincidentally happen to get an email from a sports book every time after you make a buy, well, you have to ask yourself, isn't this company just a front for the sports book? And me and Al know from being in this business 20 years that 9 out of 10 of those companies have actual deals in place with those sports books that pay them off the losses of the customers. So when the customers win, hey, they get paid for their picks. And when the customers lose, they're getting a commission on the back end from the sports book. You should never buy a pick from a website that has a sports book advertising on it.
That's right, because there is absolutely no incentive for the handicapper to win, because, again, often you'll, or another part of that, just to take it a step further, and by the way, if you go to our site, you will see no links, no sportsbook advertising. We've never had it, period, and just that's the way we operate.
We're on the other side. We're against the sports books. We're not in bed with the sports books. We are trying to take the sports books down. That's what we're committed to.
Right, because, guys, we want you to win money because we're betting these games. We win, you win, we're all happy. And the other thing you have to realize, too, is a lot of these sites you'll see, sign up with XYZ Sportsbook, you'll get a 20% sign-up bonus, and you'll get a free weeks of service. Oh, my God. So now they're monetizing you, the customer, this way. They're making money on you when you sign up, because you're going to sign up and you're going to post up money at that sports book. They're going to get a percentage of that, and then they're going to get a percentage on the back end on your losses.
And if the sports book is willing to give away free picks, how much are those free picks worth? And the other great guarantee, Al, is if I lose this game, I'm going to guarantee the rest of the year, I'll give you the rest of the year for free.
Yeah, the rest of the year. Yeah.
If you can't win, who needs the rest of your picks?
It's an amazing thing. And then most of these guys, when they have the guarantees versus the rest of the year free, well, then you call up and subsequently you find that the rest of the year really isn't meaning the rest
calendar
of the
year.
Yeah, it's
not
really
the calendar. It's a sport year.
Right. You're going to get my bottom line picks. I'm not going to have my best bets for you,
right.
But I'll tell you what. I'll give you a credit towards my package of my best bets. It's all just designed to suck you in, guys, and it's a shame because we sit here and we laugh about it, but we know a lot of you guys have been victimized by it.
And it hurts us.
And it hurts us because we often are unfairly grouped among all those other carnival barkers and con men out there in the industry, and it makes those that are doing something legit like we are at picknation.com, it makes it so much harder to convince the followers that what you see is what you get, because they can't believe that we're willing to give you a free day, sample all 13 handicappers for free, $500-$600 worth of action, and then come back to the site the next day to see if we won or lost.
And what's the catch? They're all trying to figure out what the catch is.
I know.
The catch is we're trying to create a business.
Yeah, exactly. And to show you that, as we always say, without integrity, we have absolutely nothing. So that's your little sports service scam advice of the week. Back to the games that we go here. And Steve, kind of an interesting game. Baltimore and Cleveland. This is a Cleveland team. I think it's fair to say that Eric Mangini is this year going to be coaching his final few games this week. The Browns looked like they had turned the corner, but they just haven't been able to put the wins up on the board, losing last week at Cincinnati. But the encouraging thing is that Colt McCoy came back and played last week, and he is going to start the rest of the season. He had a very strong game, albeit against a very bad Cincinnati defense. 19 for 25. He completed 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Problem is, they gave up 397 yards defensively to the Bengals. Baltimore,
They own this team.
Yeah, they have absolutely owned this team, and I don't know if this is a trap line.
Right.
But, how can you not lay so few points with the Ravens? They've got so much to play for in this game because, after beating New Orleans, and you're right, they've won 5 straight in the series, they still have the possibility of advancing, improving their playoff lot in the final 2 games of the season. But if they win this game, they clinch a playoff berth, so they have added motivation.